If they don't lose control, they don't love, right? For the simple fact that when you are in love, you're actually spellbound. Your brain literally becomes hijacked by the thought of the other person. When somebody has control over themselves, has dominion over their mind and body when they're with you, that's not a good sign. We have to see some crackhead behavior. We have to see people not be able to control themselves, to be able to lose their patience. Okay, so we're going to start with the most obvious one, and that's the visual, right? Men and women are both visual creatures. And I swear to God, like I genuinely look when it comes, for example, with a woman, right? When it comes to sex, a woman will find a man who's visually attractive more attractive than a guy who's not visually attractive but has money, has height, has power, has social status. The visual is more, it creates a more visceral reaction more than anything. Right. Now there are psychological things you could do to increase that. But in the initial, it's the visual. And the beauty about it, it's not just the fact that you look good looking. For example, we're going to talk about this in this video, but I want to get ahead of myself. Is that I can have I can have twins, right? One girl here and then another girl, and she dresses normal. But then, for example, my favorite girl is Sailor Moon, and she's just like Sailor Moon. For example, the visual of Sailor Moon will give her a times 10 times 10 Kamehameha type of like energy where she look hotter. The woman who embodies a fantasy visually through symbolism will look more attractive, will cause people to lose control, right? That's why when you have cult leaders, a lot of cult leaders look like Jesus, for example, because the visual of looking like the stereotypical Jesus gets has an emotional reaction. And you might say, why are people falling for this? Well, because it's not meant for you, right? The visual that you create is tailor made for the person's weakness. It has to be something that they need, right? So, for example, if it's me and a woman has like an anime look, yeah, I can promise you, I'll pick you over most girls. If a woman has like a sporty masculine look, which I like a lot, I'm gonna pick her over the girl who's afraid of getting dust in her dress, right? Even though they look the same, the visual represents something else to me, right? And those things are projections. And it causes people to lose control over their emotions. It causes it's literally what causes people to follow cult leaders. The same thing, because cult leaders understand the power of the visual. Now, there are two types of options you're gonna have when it comes to getting somebody to fully lose control. Okay, um, the first option is this one, which is they start fast but ends fast. Okay. And the reason why that is because usually what that is just like I always talk about is trauma, right? So you could get somebody to lose control, but what would happen is that they'll lose control, but it'll be fast, but they'll also gain control fast because what it really is a projection, right? So those people who immediately give you power from the start, you want to keep your eyes open to that because that's not normal. Okay, things that last long start slow, and so this is the next option you're gonna have, and it's the ones that go slow but actually last long. All right, those people lose control, but the way that they lose control over themselves is the fact that you become so ingrained in their life, they have become so accustomed to you that the thought of losing you makes them lose control over their emotion. All right. Now, um, we got that out the way, right? And the way that you make sure that you pick this one is to control your emotions. Like it literally because this is like a quick high, like a drug hit. And a lot of people fall for this because they're just looking for someone to remove the pain. So this is not doesn't validate you as quick. It doesn't give you that instant boost in self-esteem. But the problem is that if you don't go this route, you're always going to be going from person to person, never fully getting someone to truly fall in love with you long term. Okay. Now, if you want to learn how to apply these strategies, book a one-on-one phone call with me by clicking on the description down below, and then you'll be able to talk to me, and I'll teach you how to apply this. If you lack the self control to apply my strategies, then join the meditation group by becoming a Patreon member, where for $5 a month, we meditate together a few times a week, like 5 times a week. We do more than that, but I'd like to say five, just to give you guys a minimal expectation, and that'll teach you and give you the right habits to apply these strategies. Right? It's like a live Zoom meditation that you have with me on a daily basis. All right, so do that now, or else I'm closing the chat. All right, so let's start with this one, okay? Um, the first thing you want to realize is that you want to go for people who, from the start, they want you. From the start, there's no games, no spinneroonies, no backflips. They like you from the start. And the way that you know that is when you get to know them. The first time you meet them, you can see it in their eyes, right? You can see it in their eyes. They react to you appropriately. There's no doubt in your mind whether or not they like you. And the way that you do that, you got to find specific kinds of people. Like not everyone is going to do this. Okay. So the first thing is that you both have to be seeking the same thing. Like that's the first thing, because you have to be compatible. Like you got to want what I want, or at least give me the impression of that. Because once we know that you want what I want, people all of a sudden their minds open up and they allow you in their hearts. Like if I date a girl and she wants kids, for example, and I say I don't, me saying I don't will close her off from me from then on. But if I lie to her and I say I do, like literally, like in her heart, she'll literally say, "Okay, I'll give him a shot." What that means is I'll allow myself to feel these feelings without pulling away, without second guessing myself. So you got to be seeking the same thing. And this is the most important thing, not one of the most important things, but have the right dark side, your dark shadow side. If you want someone to like you instantly, to get to become fascinated by you, just embody their shadow. So for example, the shadow means if you're somebody that's aggressive, but you don't like being aggressive because of morality, you'll be attracted to someone who is overly aggressive, and that attraction is there because they have what you lack, meaning you lack this amount of aggressive energy. They have this amount of aggressive energy, meaning like they have twice the amount. And so because you can't make up this difference, you become attracted to them so that they can make up the difference for you. And so you become attracted to their dark side. And like I said, one of the ways is just to make sure that you embody their dark side. So if I'm dating someone, they're super religious, or better yet, they came from a household that was really strict, and I'm the wild boy, the party guy, she's gonna be deeply attracted to me because I embody her dark side, right? So it's important to realize that part. I mean, usually sometimes it doesn't mean your dark side. It could just be you have traits that I don't have. So maybe you're not as ambitious. And so you date someone who's ambitious, right? And so because of that, there'll be something in them that just instantly draws you to them, right? Like and it's something that people can't put that into words, but people are viscerally attracted to that. The next thing is, and this is very important, right? Affect a projection. And what that means is to get that reaction where they lose control, remind them of someone in their lives. Maybe you remind them of their father who was never there, or their moms who were never there. Maybe you look like their ex, the ex that cheated on them. Or the ex that didn't want them back. And so I want to win you over so that I could feel validated by her. An example of affecting a projection is that you get a dog and he looks like you're the dog that died. And all of a sudden that dog would be like, "Oh, what the fuck? Why does this person love me so much?" Well, because I'm projecting. You lose control whenever you see something from the past. So embody that. It could be embodying something of their fantasies. If they like Sailor Moon, you you intentionally give off Sailor Moon vibes, right? These projections create automatic responses in people that will make them lose control. Right. So now the next one is uh-huh, walking away, then coming back. And honestly, only do this if it's necessary. I'm not telling you guys to do this just to be an asshole, but that sometimes you got to walk away. Right. Sometimes some people can't have a good thing. They have to ruin it. They have to fuck it up. Right. They have to self sabotage. And if you don't make them pay the consequences of their actions, they're not going to respect you. right? So if you're dating someone, literally walking away as paradoxically or breaking up with them, they call it the preemptive breakup. As paradoxically as that sounds, they lose control because you're leaving and I can't control that. And people don't like the way that feels. And so they become drawn to you even more, right? Whatever leaves and comes back always is more alluring. And better yet, in my life, the moments when I felt like I was losing control over my emotion was when someone that I loved was walking away. There's no other feeling more petrifying and debilitating than the feeling that there's nothing that I could do to get you back. That feeling is horrible, a horrible feeling, right? And this is only done when it's necessary, when they're being disrespectful, and you got to walk away. Next one is make them wait for something they want, right? Making them wait. Sometimes you want to say yes, but even if you want to say yes now, play the art of timing. Play that game of timing. Make them wait. Don't just say yes to everything so quickly. Be a little bit more skeptical. Yeah, you might want to marry them. Yeah, you might want to be in a relationship with them. But it's always better to make act as though you're thinking about it. Not because you don't love them, but because of some other thing. But the point is that making them wait, the waiting process, humans don't like waiting. Or better yet, humans don't like waiting when you're not responding, when you're being absent. It causes people to get anxious. Humans don't like that. And as a result, when you make people wait, it compels them to make a lot of mistakes, the type of mistakes that benefits you, right? Now, outside of making them wait, the next thing is make them depend on you. And this happens over time, right? I'm not talking about making them depend on you financially. I'm talking about making them depend on you emotionally. And this happens with just creating a connection. And but with this one, you got to know who you're dealing with because certain attachment styles will come across different depending, right? So, for example, if the person loves you but they're an avoidant, they're gonna act like they don't love you until you pull away, and then you're gonna see them cry like a little bitch, right? So you have to realize that depending is not manifested the same way. Some people depend on you, but they don't need to see you every day. What we're talking about is in your absence. And so the dependence they have on you isn't the type of dependence that is just ego driven. Because like I said, ego driven, you could get a lot of easy ego points from people. You could get them to over pursue and stuff like that. But the problem is that it's temporary and it becomes a waste of time. The way that you make sure it's long term is that if you want someone to depend on you, you just have to be there every day. Like they have to physically see you and physically be in your presence on a consistent basis. That's how bonds are created. Now, you don't try to attract them or try to say that one line. No, literally just being there like a fucking statue. Like you just being there over time, their own brains will start to change the way they see you by just exposing themselves to you on a consistent basis. So this is a product of time. And unfortunately, the ego one, the fast one, doesn't arise from this. But this is the one that actually gives you more power over people. Not to manipulate them, but that's just how that works, right? Now, next one is constant reminder of the inevitable. What's the inevitable? That you're going to walk away one day, right? And the reason why you have to do this, because the human animal is only able to understand the value of things only when it's threatened for it to be lost. Like we're not capable of appreciating good things during good times. We're only able to appreciate good things during bad time. It's one of the bad things about humans, right? So you have to do them that favor and remind them. So how do you do that? Well, for one, you say it verbally. You let them know that one day I'll leave if you fuck up. You know how many of us blunt the effects of this by literally telling them there's nothing you could do to make me stop loving you. Like you that that's insane. That's how you create people who take you for granted. It's not that you want people in fear, but God damn, forever, motherfucker, really? And when people hear that, they get comfortable. All people are only romantic out of insecurity. They're not romantic for the sake of being romantic. They're romantic out of sheer insecurity. And the way you keep that insecurity in a realistic way is reminding them of the ultimate reality that I'm gonna leave you ass. I'm gonna leave your ass one day if you fuck up. But it's not manipulation because it's true. It is true. You may not believe it, but it's true. It will be over one day. And getting in touch with that gets people to hold on to you tighter, right? The next thing is your behavior with others. Them seeing that you're willing to walk away, that you're willing to cut off friendships for those who disrespect you, are those types of people that you are the types of things that you want to communicate. That you're willing to walk away, that you're willing to hurt yourself for the sake of leaving this person. And when people see that you don't take shit from other people, oh, they're gonna be more attracted to you. Because nothing is more unattractive than knowing that somebody else used and abused you, and I have you now. It's like, what the fuck? Like, people like to know that you stand up to yourself no matter who's in front of you, right? So in your daily life, the way you treat your friends, the way you deal with disrespectful friends, they're watching you. They're watching you, right? If you want them to lose control, for them to give you all of the power in terms of like, you control how I feel today, they have to see that you're able to cut people off instantly. Next one is conflict. Perfect with the C. Being willing to talk about things, not fighting, not going Bronx mode, not having unnecessary discussions, not bickering, because there's a big difference between fighting and just being petty and actually resolving your issues. There's a big difference and a fine line, though. But this conflict is more for people who are conflict averse, more for people who are afraid of telling people what they want because they're afraid that it might ruin the relationship. A lack of conflict in a relationship always comes with the relationship with people not feeling completely loved and completely appreciated. For the simple being that they feel the disbalance. For example, I fuck up, I do something wrong, I'm expecting you to say something. When you don't say nothing, I'm gonna be happy. But then a part of me is gonna be like, oh, this person's a bitch. People take note of that. If they don't verbally say it, they will say that in their minds. And you know what happens? They're able to predict you now. They know that you don't care. So because they're able to predict you now, you provoke less emotional reactions in them. When they know that you're not gonna let them get away with their bullshit, it puts the relationship in at a more even level, right? Now, to me, conflict is one of my favorite because that's how you know someone who's willing to risk losing the relationship just to fix a incompatible an issue of compatibility. It communicates that you know what, I may be unhappy, but I'm able to get over you. That's why it's good to tell people you have therapists, that you have a support system, because it adds points. Like it makes you look more attractive, right? Um, and the last point is competition. You let them know that one day you're going to walk away, that one day this will end because there's competition. There's people who admire you. There's people who you admire. There's people who find you attractive. There's people who desire you. And sometimes we forget that because we see you every day. You get acclimated. It's like when you're having a little kid who's growing a lot, but you don't see the fact that he's growing because you see him every day, right? And so competition causes people to see you in a new eye. And when people see that other people want you, they start fighting for you. They start getting competitive. They start getting petty. They start begging. They start to lose control and become more reactive. And the last one, silence. Silence. Not saying nothing. right? Sometimes not saying nothing causes people to do so much because people don't like the void. They don't like silence. They don't like emptiness. It puts fear in our hearts. When you learn how to apply the art of silence, when they fuck up, you don't respond. When they keep disrespecting you, rather than say something, you just don't say nothing. And sometimes people just gotta see you not say something so that they can stop their bullshit. Because sometimes people are just testers. They test people unconsciously. They can't help themselves, right? And if you keep acting like it doesn't bother you or that you're gonna get over it, they're gonna keep doing it and keep disrespecting you, right? And it's gonna keep them at an emotional equilibrium. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you start acting cold. You don't want to talk. You don't want to see them. You want distance. That will cause because they can't predict it. They didn't see that coming. It'll cause them to second guess themselves. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I'm the bad one, right? So remember, people, be what they want, right? Be seeking the same things. Have the right shadow side so that they could be drawn to you. And then, above all, this is to me one of the most important ones, right? Have affected not the most important one. Have the right dark side. Make sure that your dark side fits with their dark side. Affected projection. Look like someone from the past. Remind them of someone, either through your behavior or through the way that you look. More in terms of how you look, because we're visual creatures. Walking away, then coming back. Oh my God. See that's just evil. Make them wait for something that they want. They want to see you, make them wait a week. They want to see you, make them wait a month, right? When you know they want this, just make them wait a little bit, right? It might hurt, but it's a type of pain that when the pleasure comes, it makes it 10 times worth it. Have constant reminders of the inevitable, right? That you will be willing to walk away one day. And how do you do that? Through verbally, behavior with others, behavior with them, literally leaving, conflict, competition, right? That's how you communicate that. And above all, learn how to use silence. Sometimes saying more will cause people to lose respect. Sometimes sometimes you really said everything you need to say, and they're just being disrespectful. This is just how that works, people. All right. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. Check out my paintings that I'm selling. I have custom made paintings. Check out my prints on my website. These are prints that I have from my paintings. So just do that now, or else I'm gonna have to close the channel. You guys take care. Bye bye. Now I know you guys like that video, right? But the problem is that most likely you're watching my videos very scattered. And you're understanding the information, but you might be getting information overload because you might be watching a video for this, but then a video for that. Sometimes it's best to just purchase the systems that I have that will give you more clarity. For example, I have the psychological game of attraction, which is a system that I have for women who are single, and it'll teach you how to go from single to relationship, and it'll give you everything that I know you're gonna encounter, like any objections, what to do when someone's pulling away, when it's time to open up, when it's time to close down, how to punish people for disrespect, how to find out if somebody genuinely likes you. You get all of that in that system rather than watching all of my videos. It's actually a more efficient way of learning. I also have natural chemistry, which is a course that I created for women who are in a relationship and want to strengthen their relationship. So if you're a nice girl, if you lack assertiveness, if you're the type of person that doesn't have respect in their relationship, well then natural chemistry is the course for you. After that, we have the feminine woman, which is a self-help course for women in order to help you guys develop more emotional strength, to develop a meditation practice, to set and achieve your goals. I also teach you guys my manifestation technique that has literally manifested what I have today, right? So remember, in these systems, you get the for women who are single, psychological game of attraction, women who are in relationship, and the feminine woman, right? Each course is $99 each, right? So if you purchase them individually, they'll be $400. $300. But with the bundle, you get them at $249, right? So just click on the description down below, and is a lifetime guarantee. So you can keep it forever. And if you don't like it, you have a 30-day money back guarantee, right? On top of that, we also sell them with the bonuses, right? Social mastery, and it's just a bunch of bonuses that I have, which is almost like double the material of the course. So it's a really good way to get a lot of value from it. And it's a great way to support the channel. So you can click on the description down below where it says purchase the fundamentals, and I'll see you guys inside. Take care.